All
That's
right. I
great.
don't know what is going on with this link situation.
I would imagine that the powers that be probably realize what a force to reckon with we are, so they're throwing in every gremlin and wrench into the works possible to thwart our
Oh
efforts.
gosh, it's such a pain in the butt. All right. So,
Hello again.
hello again, mister. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to Amy Fisher, who's in the chat. Hello again.
Oh,
Just hello
hey.
to you. Look, see, and look, Michael went and got his tea ready, so that's good. Hopefully, he gets some hot
Mhm.
Earl Grey. He's ready to make it happen. Space Case Nicole's in the house. Hi again to you. Yes, we all made it. Thank you, Patty B, for
Woo!
being here. Naomi, grand. I'm turning into one of those YouTube people that just read people's names. Late night double feature picture show. Yes, here we are. There you. Hands in the house. Raven. Yes, yes, it is working. Finally.
Woo, woo,
All right.
woo.
Welcome back, Lay Wolf. That was from Welcome Back, Cotter, which was one of my favorite shows when I was a kid. Lee Kirkland
Oh,
in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, Cleveland
Lee.
people's own Lee Kirkland. God bless
All
him.
right.
Those
I am
gold
trying to
cheeks.
update the links
Very
here so
nice.
people know where to go.
Okay, yeah. Send the updates so people know where to go. So if we appreciate you joining us here, and we tested this. We did a what they called the old soft open. Well, at least that's what they call it. We did that like last week with some patron people and Instagram subscribers, and we had a similar issue. So we're like, oh, good, we'll figure this out, and we tested it, and it was fine. We tested it earlier today, and it was fine. And then 7:59, same problem we had last week.
Yeah,
So
it's haunted.
anyhow,
It's
yeah.
clearly haunted.
It's clearly haunted. Absolutely.
It's,
We deem this feed haunted. Don't
I think it's
question
a
it.
demon, Dustin.
It's got to be a demon.
Is
Demon!
it?
Quit. Make $1 million on TikTok if you just yell demon loud enough. That's all you have to do. I'm
Is that
sitting here,
our
by the
game
way.
plan?
Yes, that's the plan. I was sitting here reading this book while I was waiting. What would Skeletor do? And I thought, I don't know what he
Oh,
would do during this. He probably would have just thrown the damn thing and yelled. And I was thinking about that, but then I thought, well, I don't have Skeletor money and I'd have to buy another phone. So I just waited. And then sure
yeah,
enough, it all worked.
yeah. I would avoid tossing the phone. I think it's just on it's user error. I think
Yeah.
maybe. Do we want to admit that? I don't
Well,
know.
sure. I think honesty is good. It shows our human qualities. And plus, you said you screwed it up, not me. I'm just a hapless. I'm just a.
Dustin,
I'm a happy-go-lucky fool over here. I just pressed the go button, and it said the host will not let you in because Kris Williams
rat me out.
is a B word. And I said that's not nice, but that's what it said.
Me?
YouTube. Yep.
Only
I
on
am coming
Sunday.
to Canada. Chris Piper. Yes. Oh, Canada. I love it up there. I'm so excited. I haven't been to Canada in many, many moons. But yeah, my Ghost Do You Believe tour is going to be up there. So that'll be pretty sweet. We got 2 days in Canada. So that's going to
Oh.
be really sweet. I'm looking forward to that. I love it. The people are nice. The maple syrup is delicious. I know.
Oh,
I hope that's not like stereotypical in some way, but I mean, you are what you are. The maple leaf is on the flag, right? So
this is
it's
true.
and I put syrup in everything. Earlier today during our run through with this, I was frustrated by life, and this is we're just being honest in this thing. I was frustrated by life, and I told Kris Williams I'm going to make one of my homemade waffle shots, which is butterscotch schnapps with a little bit of maple
Mhm.
syrup in it, and I use the blue Captain Crunch one because I'm fancy, and it tastes like waffles. It tastes like breakfast. And I just need a little something to reward myself for making it through the day without going too crazy. So yeah. Yeah. So yep. The answer is yes. I'm coming to Canada.
I'm jealous. Where did you say in Canada? I'm sorry, I missed it while I'm fooling
I'm
around with this
going to.
bullshit.
I'm Toronto. I know Toronto is one of them. Up in Ottawa. I think. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay,
I have
okay.
2 days. 2 days there. We kicked the tour off right after Easter. So the beginning of April, I'm going to be in Fargo. So that's my first stop for Ghost Do You Believe, and then it's like 30 or 35 stops later is Memorial Day, and I think I'm in Alabama. And they still might be adding some more dates. So that'll be cool. We'll be traveling around.
Dustin's getting around.
I'm a traveling man. Made a lot of stops all over the world. I sing songs a lot. They
Oh,
don't use
Mike.
it on TV. Was
He's
Mike with us the other day?
Mike Stevens. I don't know if no.
No, Mike
I don't know if
McDermott.
he was. Mike's my friend from Colorado who does some
Oh,
kick-ass horror themed artwork, and he
man.
also, I don't know if this was you at all, but I was hooked and completely and utterly obsessed with Garbage Pail Kids when I was a kid.
Heck yeah. I was just thinking of Adam Bomb the other day. Still one of the best ones.
Yes. Well,
Yep.
Mike does does the artwork for cards now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Nice. Yeah, we
really
had,
cool stuff.
I think it took to like series 3 or 4 before we got Bustin' Dustin, which was just like a rename of one of the other Garbage Pail Kids that was already like his foot was sewed to his head, or which makes sense though, because like I fell down 32 slate stairs when I was a toddler, so I was screwed. Like I went from basically like conception out of the vagina into the world, down the stairs, broke my head open, and now I drink maple syrup with butterscotch. So yeah, I guess the
That
car
was very
probably accurate.
descriptive.
Well, thank you.
That was very, very descriptive.
This is listen,
Um,
I do not pull any punches when it comes to the miracle of life. This is how things happen.
all
Excellent.
right. I'm
Mike's
gonna
gonna make
start.
us both into Garbage Pail Kids. We have Rebellious Spirits, Garbage Pail Kids. Thank you,
Yes.
Illustrator Mike. That'd be grand.
Yes. Mike's
I'm
work is awesome. He
yeah.
did the artwork for one of the mystery boxes that I did, Bigfoot.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
nice. Very cool. Very cool. I saw John the movie guys in here too, and I'm very excited. John, I was just looking online about the Ghostbusters movies. There's some things that were leaked. I'm not going to share them here, but they tie into the cartoon series, of which I was a
Mhm.
very big fan. So I'm glad to see that because I kind of feel like the cartoon series doesn't get a lot of love. It really should. It's fantastic. Oh my God, Firewalker, Arizona, you're my kind of fella. You know how to party. Welcome. Yes, this is what we do
He's
here.
just repeating you.
I don't know what you're talking about. I never said any of those words.
Yes, he
I mean,
did.
separately. I wasn't combining the two, although not a bad way to spend your Thursday night. Get it if you can. Dinah Good, welcome to the show, Dinah.
Man, am I glad I'm in Arizona. How you doing?
Ah, this is grand. So, welcome to Rebellious Spirits. We didn't think it was going to be like this at all. So, yeah,
No,
we're
no. We thought we were
sorry.
gonna have a nice smooth start without any drama at the start of
No,
this one, but
I don't think
hey,
there's any drama. There's just a lot of colorful ideas. Yeah,
yeah,
you're
yeah, that's
welcome. No.
good. Yeah.
Tell 'em about what we're really gonna do, Kris Williams. Kris Williams is the brains of the operations, which makes me the pretty
No,
girl. Yes.
we've had this idea for like the
You
last
always get to
year.
be the pretty girl. I just wanna be it for one day.
Okay,
Alright.
you can be a pretty girl. So
Thank
that
you.
means I let you go first.
But I don't know what the show's about. You're the brains of the
Yes,
operation.
we've been talking about this for like a year. We've just been ridiculous. It's like, oh, you know this idea? Oh, yeah, that's really cool. Oh, we should
So
do that. And then
we
months go by. And it's like,
yeah,
hey, what about that idea we had? We should really do that. That would be really cool. And then months go by. And
right.
we finally are just like, this is happening.
We were filming sitting in the van, like, talking about this at one point,
Yes.
and
Yes,
we
you
just never
were.
get around to it, and here we are, leap day, the best day to start anything because it's a bonus day, so, it
How
doesn't
are we
count.
going to have an anniversary if this makes it a full
Oh,
year?
love it. Yeah, this we'll never actually well, yeah, we will, but then every 4 years, if we make it that far, it'll be a super anniversary. We'll celebrate there and not the other thing we won't mention, but if you
There we
have
go.
one, celebrate it.
There we
So,
go.
yeah, we talked about doing something together, on this type of platform, because we kinda get put together randomly, with the show here and there because we both have difficult schedules and things to work around, and life is
Yeah.
crazy, but it was always, like you'd mentioned before when we were talking in our little private discussion that was working before the YouTube gremlins got involved. Like Steve and Tango are always like packaged together. Like you don't say
Yeah.
Steve without Tango. Like it goes together, And
Mhm.
Chris was as Chris's terms, not mine, like part of the girls,
Yeah.
like part
One
of
of
the
the
girls.
girls.
And
Yeah.
I just got paired up with whomever because I don't really fit much. I'm a good paranormal misfit, so wherever I go, I can work well with others. I can play in the sandbox, and also just left to my own devices, I can have fun anyway, so it's fine.
Yes.
But the two of us together, off camera, always goof around and have a lot of fun at the investigations and stuff. So we thought it'd be kind of cool to bring that out here for everybody. And the idea
Mhm.
between with Rebellious Spirits is on the YouTube channel you'll be getting short videos from us. Each week, at least one from one of us, and then there's going to be like a monthly live, kind of like this, and there will
Yep.
also be a monthly long form video, and we
Yes.
want to tie into really steer into the rebellious spirits concept, looking at rebellious spirits throughout time, people in history that have really made a change and made an impact. And if that ties into something that's haunted, well, that's like just bonus material. And then,
People who are rebellious spirits in life
yeah,
and being rebellious in the field in general, considering it's kind of all over the place right now.
there's a lot to disrupt.
Oh,
People like,
where
I'm a
shall we
disruptor. I
begin?
don't, I don't really disrupt anything. I just kind of I go with the flow unless I'm really upset about things, which takes a lot to get me really upset because I realize most of the stuff doesn't matter. So I just kind of chill and I like to observe and laugh about life. And so that's kind of
Yeah,
what I do.
yeah, you are pretty laid back.
Thank you very
But
much.
yeah, no, we've just always enjoyed working together. We've always gotten along really well, and we haven't really ever gotten the chance to work together very much. It'd be like randomly, like Chris and Dustin, off you go, because
Why not?
I was usually paired off, or when I left, you were on more, and by that time, we couldn't work together. So
Yeah.
that sucked.
We switched spots basically. Like I was on the show,
Yes.
then I left for a little bit because I was like getting married and everything, and then you popped back in, and then we get to meet in Cranston at the Sprague Manor, and across from my favorite bar in Rhode Island, there's a great little place they call McShawn's Pub, where on Saturday mornings you can get hot dogs boiled in beer and sauerkraut, delicious, and they're free. So you get a beer, you get a hot dog, and across the street is where Chris and I first met. So it's a historical
Yes.
location.
Yep.
Uh, but then I went over to GHI, and so I was over there for most
Yes.
of the time, and then I
Yep.
came back and hung out with you when Steve and Tango were off to an academy, and then
But there was one more case that we had together before you went to GHI that was probably still one of my craziest experiences.
where was that?
Waverly Hills, the live show.
Oh yes, the live show. Yep,
Yes.
we got in trouble with the live show because we were just laughing. We were hysterically like overtired, but it was
Yeah.
fun. I love
Yeah, it
that
was
place.
fun. It
Yeah,
was. And we had some crazy experiences after the show when the show was done.
yeah, it was the best part.
That was the best part.
Yeah, so like intelligent spirits, like you guys, we're not going to go over the classifications. If you don't know it, Google it at this point. But like when we talk about like intelligent spirits, like one of the things we've discussed is that if they are aware of what we're doing, they don't want to be bothered. They just won't be bothered. Like they have that choice. And it's kind of
Yeah.
interesting because this was one of those cases where Chris and I were just laughing and we were serious in our investigation. But at some point with a live show, you never have a chance to really be like down and off, like just relax. You always
No.
have to be on as live. So we were exhausted. And at this point, we are just like punch drunk silly. And it was super early in the morning. And they were just like, okay, we're done with you guys. So it was when we were done and the camera crew left us that we had to break down. It was the nurses area up on the top floor. They were unfortunately the story at least was that this nurse died by suicide there,
It was so
and
crazy.
I remember going up to get the camera down, and you were getting cables, and that's where we first started hearing like banging and things, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I was standing there because there used to be like shit all over the floor up there. There was just debris everywhere. So no matter where you walked, you'd hear crunching sounds. So I was standing in place, but I was winding up, cord, and Dustin was messing with the camera, but he wasn't walking all over hell, right? So I'm hearing walking going by me, and it's not where he is, and I'm like, Dustin, and he goes, "Yep, I hear that too." Because at this point, I'd only been around for like maybe 4 months, and nothing big had happened for me yet. So I remember being really kind of like, what the hell's happening now? Camera guy's gone, everybody's gone, show's over. We're not ready for this shit at all. And then I remember you saying to me, it's okay. It's all right. We'll just grab all of our stuff and we'll make it down with all of our stuff so we don't have to come
Yeah,
back up. And I'm like,
one
oh,
trip.
okay, that's a good idea.
Once in a while, I get them.
And then we come down the stairwell, hands full of stuff. I think we came out on the second floor, I think we're set up on.
Yeah.
And we passed this first room on the left and we heard footsteps in it. And I remember looking at Dustin and he's like, so I was sitting there like, okay, he looks a little surprised by this. Should I be worried? And then we started walking a little faster, and then we hear the footsteps again in the next room that we pass. And then I look at Dustin, and his eyes are like saucers. I'm like, holy shit, are we like, what's happening right now? So we start walking a little faster, and then there were stomping footsteps, like running up right behind us. And I honest to God thought it was gonna be somebody on our team.
Yeah, I thought it was like Jay or someone screwing around, like trying to scare us. But like
Yeah,
the amount of banging, like the loud clopping, like running behind us was ridiculous. Like it really felt like there was a presence there. It didn't want us there, and it was like chasing us out of there. And I was happy to move along. But yeah, we had to carry all the things out at once, just so we didn't have to go back up in there, which is not the easiest thing to do. But with the cables and the cords and all the cameras and everything. But we didn't break anything, and we got out okay. So that turned out to be all right. Ended up being a wonderful time at Waverly. Still one of my favorite places to go to. Got to go there recently again and kind of hang out for a little bit. So always a pleasure, and I'm glad that they still renovated it too. Like it's in much better condition than when we first started going there. So that was good.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. I was there not last summer, but the summer before, and they've done a lot to clean it up.
Yeah, yeah, good stuff. Indeed, indeed. But yeah, so that's our ideas at least of what to do with this thing over the next few months and everything. So you'll get a live monthly thing like this. You'll get a rebellious spirit story once a month as well. At least a short video from one of us each week, and then just some bonus content. However, we throw things in there. I'm going to be on the road for like 7 weeks doing the tour. So I have a lot of bonus content stuff that's going to be on my Patreon and things too. But I'm sure Chris and I will find some time to do some live from location stuff while I'm out there because I don't even know where I'm going. I'm going all over the place, but we'll
You're
get
all over the place all the time. I can't, and that's been half our drama too. It's like, hey, let's do this on whatever day. And you're like, oh, I'm gonna be here, there, or everywhere, or you're like stuck at an airport, delayed or canceled or whatever. So
Yes,
you're
indeed.
very
The
busy.
airports are a second home away from home for sure. And it's weird too because then like sometimes I remember one time I was in Charlotte, and it was like the second weekend in the row, and like I sat down to get a drink, and it was I do like to drink responsibly, but like everyone can have their thing. I like to have a cold beer when especially when I'm stuck at the airport. And I sat down and the bartender looked at me. She's like, "You're back here again?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, yep." I was like, "I remember." I'm like, "Yeah, you were here last week too." Like, great. That when the bartenders at other airports know who you are, that means you're there too often. But
Yeah.
my hometown airport's great. I love Providence Airport because it is very small, and but we do have two Dunkin' Donuts, which is nice. You got like 12 or 13 gates, but two Dunkin' Donuts, which is the most important thing. The line for
I mean,
Dunkin's longer than the
I
TSA line.
mean, yeah,
So
you're set.
yeah, but you got it. You get coffee on each side, so you're good. And then yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, bad. The trolls are out early. I noticed that. I love it when people say to me, "Hey, Chris, you got a massive forehead," because it's like, wow, really? I've had this forehead my entire life, and I've never noticed.
indeed.
There's some
Yeah,
guy going on about it in the comments.
that's
It's
all
just,
right.
people are weird. They're
Yeah,
really weird.
listen, some guys are into foreheads. That's it's a whole new fetish thing. You can open
Maybe
up
that's something.
like instead of it's actually OF is only foreheads. It's not only fans. So you could open up like your own thing, make some side money. Hell, go for it.
Yeah.
You got it, flaunt it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Uh, Mike, trolls and pervs, Chris and Dustin, you might need mods in these. Yeah, yeah, possibly. Right now, I'm just trying to delete it as I go.
I don't even worry about it. Screw it.
Yeah.
That's it.
People are ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't worry about it.
The only way for him to get noticed. Yeah, pretty much, Mike. All right. So we were wondering if you guys had any questions for us because we figured we'd clue you in on what we're doing and what the plan is, and then we would answer sort of
Yeah,
English.
the future things will be a little bit more strategic. But for this first one, we just kind
Yes.
of want to let everybody kind of clued in about what we're looking to do, what we're planning on doing, and kind of developing it from there. So yeah, it's just kind of a fun little outfit for us to do some other things on the side. So
Lee said he thought I was drinking Tab. Says
oh,
ice. The ice drinks. I love
I
these.
remember Tab. My
Yeah.
grandmother sent away back when you would still send away UPC symbols to get like the merchandise, and then you'd pay like $4.99 for shipping and handling. She had, and I think I might still have one in my cabinet. Because the Tab logo was like the hourglass. Because the idea was like you could drink the soda and still have like an hourglass figure. That was their thing. And so they made glasses, like drinking glasses, that said Tab on them in yellow, and they were in that hourglass shape. So I think I still have. I miss sending away UPC symbols for things. Like I have a breakfast bowl that I use for cereal that I've had since the apartment I lived in when I was a little kid, which had to be when I was less than 7 because we moved to a house when I was 7. And it's got so Flintstones vitamins were a big thing, but there was also Bugs Bunny vitamins. And so
Flintstone vitamins.
I
Yes.
love those. I still like them. Red Betty days are the best. But the bowl's got all the little vitamins like the Bugs Bunny and Daffy characters and everything. And
Yes.
that's my favorite cereal bowl. And that was sent away with the UPC symbols. And I don't know if they even give prizes in cereal anymore. I haven't seen any. Although I did win
No.
last year. The monster cereals. I love the Boo Berry, and I get those collected. I get the limited edition ones. And I won like this little like designs of all the characters. So there's Boo Berry and Frankenberry and Count Chocula and Fruit Brute. They're all there. So that's kind of cool. But yeah,
Yeah.
cereal was better when we were younger. I remember Smurf cereal was really good, and you would just read the box. You had nothing else to do in the morning. I put the radio on and read the box until mom said I had to go to school. Like that was it. There's no
I like how
box.
we're saying we'll take questions and we go right into cereal.
I'm sorry, I get distracted. Well, because there was a comment about a cat. That's how I ended up here. Glow in the
Oh my
dark cereal
goodness.
prizes were the best. Yes, bad comic. I'm with you, my friend.
I did see a couple questions in there. I had somebody ask if they could ask questions related to GH or GHI. Yeah, you can.
Yes, whatever that's
And
fun. If we
Mike
don't like it,
Stevens
we just don't answer.
asked, "What were you guys doing before you got on GH?"
Boom, 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 boom. All right. So before GH, I was oh, still working in healthcare. Yeah, I was still doing the same thing I'm doing now. Really, I was working full time in ambulance company, and then also full time doing anesthesia for oral surgery. So I worked a day job and a night job. And the reason I never committed to the show full time is because I never thought TV would take off. So I just stayed working full time in oral surgery, and then I dropped to part time on the ambulance, and then I would just go on the road when I could to film. And I've this year I think is 21 years doing anesthesia for oral and facial cosmetic surgery. So still doing that. Miss Williams.
All right. So before GH, I was kind of all over the place. The job that I had when I started, I was a flooring installer. I did flooring and carpentry, and then I also worked in electronics where I soldered computer boards and I did hand assembly. And I was also into genealogy. So I was wandering around cemeteries like all the other weirdos that are in this field, but I was just doing it in a different way. So yeah, that's what I was doing.
I still go to the cemeteries like at least once or twice a week just to wander. Like
Yeah.
it's never been an investigation thing either for me. It's just like I like to read the epitaphs. I like to clean the stones. I buy the flags to replace at the old veterans sites and everything. And it's just chill. I put my music on sometimes. Sometimes I just listen to the birds and things and just hang out.
Yep.
It's nice to be away from people. It's quieter
Yeah.
and
Well,
yeah.
you're around people. They just not
Yeah,
allowed to bug you.
not so much going. Didn't want to chat so much. Good. I'm a I saw somebody commented this channel's all over the place and they love it. Thank you. That's what
That's
it's like in the brain all the time. So I'm just, I'm glad we can enjoy it together.
yes. I also saw another question. It said, "Would you both want to investigate haunted locations for your very own YouTube show?"
We can do it here. Why the hell
Yep.
not?
We've been talking about that, doing locations here once we get to a point where we can pull that off. So that will be something that'll be in the mix as we figure out how we're going to swing it.
Yeah, swing it. Kris Williams, your eyes really pop with that shirt. That green really makes it work. Oh my God, there
Thank
it
you.
is, the goofy faces. So Kris does these faces quite often. It's weird. It's like the girl can't take a compliment, but like we'll be in the van doing something, and she'll just make goofy faces, and it's just like you can't possibly like hold a straight face. It's like great now I'm straight up the whole time.
Especially with compliments. I don't know what to do with them. So it's like, I have to
Love
fix
it.
it so they won't
Yeah,
say it. And then I'm good, right?
wonderful,
Yeah,
beautiful, excellent.
totally makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Chris was also an extra in Clint Eastwood's directed movie Mystic River before GH. I was. Yes, I was. And I
What?
got to meet
I didn't know
him.
it. Really?
Yeah. Yes, he
Ooh,
introduced me to Sean Penn as his niece. It was the craziest shit ever.
that's funny.
It was awesome.
That's
Yeah.
great.
And it was funny because he hugged me, and when I came home and told my parents about it, because I was like early 20s, my mom
Mm.
hugs me. And she's like, "You can never shower again. Clint hugged you." And I was like, "I need to shower like right now, actually."
That's funny.
But yeah,
John, the movie guy, mentioned that he once took a nap while he was in the cemetery next to his mom's grave. Yeah, I've dozed off there before too. I just enjoy being there just because I find it to be so peaceful. Sometimes I just sit in my truck and kind of hang out, but sometimes I have a spot where I'm going to be buried, and I actually just like tagged it, like I autographed a little marker because like, oh, this is mine now. I paid. So I autograph my spot. Sometimes I lay down, just check it out. Like, what's the view like from here? Now,
might as well.
I don't personally believe that spirits stay there. I think it's just kind of like a touch point, for us to kind of
Yeah.
go. It's nice when like family visits, friends visit. Like it's kind of like a place. It's like a common spot to chat with each other. But I don't think anyone's ever, just standing there waiting for people to visit them and bring them fake flowers or shit. But
I've had a weird experience in a cemetery before, actually.
Tell
And
us
it was,
about it, Kris Williams.
yeah, it was weird. It was before the show, quite a few years. And there was this ancestor that I had, and his name was James P. Osgood. And I was researching him and I was coming up with nothing and I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. So I reached out to my grandfather's cousin. She gave me the location of a cemetery, which was in Goffstown, New Hampshire. So I was like, cool, it's right around the corner for me. Drive out there. And my ex boyfriend, his name was Phil, he came with. And it was one of these old cemeteries. Like they had Revolutionary War soldiers in there and little old church. And the thing was like, it was really wide, but it wasn't super deep.
Mhm.
And deep wise, it was cut in half of this little dirt road. So we start on the front half on either end, and we would work our way to the middle. If we didn't find him, we'd work on the back half. So this thing was probably like, I don't know, a football field and a half in length. It was, or maybe even a little longer. So I'd be walking on my side, and then I'd hear footsteps clear as day, like right next to me. And I turn around, half saying something, thinking my ex is gonna be right behind me, and he's not. He's still all the way at the other end of the cemetery. This happened quite a few times.
Mhm.
So then we got to the middle. He didn't find him. I didn't find him. So we're like, okay, we'll try the back half. So we start walking to that little dirt road, and I stopped just before it. And he started walking up to the right end to do the same thing to work in the middle. And I heard footsteps clear as day go from behind me, around me, and then down to the left. And I yelled up to him, they're not up there. And I followed where I heard the footsteps, and there was the grave of James P. Osgood and his daughter, who died when she was only like 20. But
Wow.
then I found out there's this whole crazy story behind him where his name was originally Robert Robbins, and he was married to this other woman. I forget her name off the top of my head. But then there was this other woman named Mary Belinda Luce, and James and Mary both had kids with their spouses. They somehow met, took their children, ran up to Canada, changed their last names to, well, he changed his first and last name, and everybody else changed their last names to Osgood. And then after my third great grandmother, I think, was born, they moved back down to New Hampshire and resettled under the new name. So it was really crazy because I hadn't done paranormal investigation at this point, but I remember going back 2 weeks later with my dad because it's from his side.
Mhm.
And the weather was pretty much the same. It did not happen again. There's absolutely no reason why I should have been hearing those footsteps. There's nothing for the sound to really be bouncing off of.
Right.
And if there was, you would think it would have happened again. But here's this guy with this crazy ass story who's hard to find, and his what, fourth great granddaughter, fifth great granddaughter shows up looking for him. So I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know if there's anything to that or not, but it was strange. So
I don't
maybe
know
they
how you
do come
remember
around.
I don't even know how you remember all those names. Like, there's a lot.
Oh,
I can't like, I know your genealogy is, like, your thing, but, like, I hate it. Like, I meet people and, like, as I'm shaking their hand, like, I already forget who they are. And then you feel really awkward because it's like, I mean, I my brain is just not right, but I try. I get
I mean,
nicknames
I
like
could have told you that part.
yeah, thanks.
That was a given.
If you get a nickname for me, then, like, you're friend for life, and, like, I'll always know who you are. Like,
The thing
that's
is
how the
though,
brain
it's like you're not just getting a name and you're not just getting a date. Like if you're doing it right, you're looking up their entire story and then
yeah,
their names stick because you
that's a
get to
lot.
know them even though you haven't met them. It
Gotcha.
is, you're hunting for ghosts, your own ghosts. You know what I mean? You're
Mm.
haunting them before they can haunt you basically. It's fun. I
I
love it.
want you first. Yes. I like it.
Yes, I will get you. It's
That's
so
very
much fun.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely. I just like to like I've never researched my own family genealogy very much, but I just like to read like the stones and stuff there, and especially like the early ones. Like there's just so many like
Yes.
amazing little like bits of poetry on there, or little stories about their lives. Some are heartbreaking, some are uplifting, some are funny. So it's always
Yep.
kind of cool to see what's there. But that's where we go. That's my thinking spot. Go hang out.
Mhm.
What
Yep.
else do
I
we
love
got?
it. Um,
Do. Ghostly experiences outside of the shows. Well, you just kind of told one of yours.
mhm.
Like what I always like refer to as like my gateway ghost. What got me started was seeing a shadow figure when I was a kid. It was one of the humanoid shaped ones. It was one of the tall ones. They're usually like feet tall, or like 2.5, 3 feet tall. So it was one of the taller ones, and it was just
Mhm.
in the bedroom door, and I was terrified because I'd never seen anything like this before. Despite my love for Halloween and all that kind of stuff, I don't like horror movies. I don't like pop out scary things. It's just weird because you think I work doing paranormal work, I should not want to do that, but like real paranormal stuff is usually very subtle and it's very exciting
Yeah.
when it first
Yeah.
happens. But to look over as a little kid and all of a sudden there's this shadowy thing standing in the doorway, I was terrified. But that was what got me first started into all this stuff. And then it was just a labor of love and going to the library and reading books about like New England hauntings and those kind of things. And fast forward many years later, just watching TV, and I see these two guys in somebody's house, and no one's chasing them out. There's no police yelling at them to get off the property, and they're doing an investigation. I didn't know there were paranormal teams or anything. So I was
Yeah.
very fortunate to have been able to link up with everybody and become a part of the home team first for several months, and then get to do the shows. So, but yeah, that's how that started for me.
Yeah.
That's sad. Horror is like a warm hug. Well done. I don't
You
know.
have to see his work.
I mean, I don't mind like horror illustrations and stuff, and like I think so, I like The Walking Dead and that kind of stuff. But like, I don't know. I never got into like the Freddy movies or the Jason movies. I like Scream. I watched like the first two of the Saw movies, but I don't know. It's just I don't like a lot of like macabre stuff. I don't like a lot of blood and that kind. Which again, weird because I work in surgery all day. Like every day, there's blood everywhere, but that doesn't bother me in the least.
No, I couldn't
Yeah,
do
I
it.
don't know. I don't know. It doesn't bother me. I just take the gloves off, wash up, and then have a sandwich and go to Dunkin' for lunch. It's all good.
Blech.
But watching it on TV or movies and stuff, I just want like happy animations, shows about aliens. Like I could sit and watch Ancient Aliens, even the reruns. Like just give me a pizza and a Miller Lite, and I will sit there and watch Ancient Aliens until the sun comes up happily. That's usually what I do. Like on the road, like I just go to my hotel rooms and watch Ancient Aliens and eat pizza. I love it. Simple, easy.
Funny. Oh, let's
Let's
see.
see. Yes, I will be in Omaha. Chris, do
Oh.
you do anything out in the Midwest? You got anything coming up?
Um, isn't there one coming up early next year?
Oh, we're going to be doing the inaugural Missouri Paracon.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going
I'm
to be a
excited for that one.
yeah. It's the was the last weekend of February or into the beginning of March of 2025. So tickets are already on sale for that. They're already going. So that should be a great time. We have a lot of good people there with us too. So that should be fun. I love it out there. And so I like the Midwest very much. I find that I feel very peaceful when I'm in like Missouri and Kansas, Wyoming. Also, I
Yeah.
really I like those areas of the country. I don't know. I need wide open spaces and less congestion and people and things.
Oh gosh. Less
So,
people in general is always nice. I live out in the middle of nowhere right now. Like there's literally cows that wander into our yards and
oh
just
yeah,
like you wake up and your trees are destroyed and there's bullshit in your yard. Like literal
yeah,
bullshit. It's
literal bull.
insane. I hate it so much.
I like I like to I went on a cattle drive once. That was fine. Like I like that. I did that in Wyoming and moving the cows every day and everything. And I like to just watch horses. Like they're just such great creatures. Like I remember seeing actual wild stallions when I was out in Wyoming, which was great. And I met this horse named Fred in Kansas, and he's very friendly. And
Yeah.
I like to I come across things and I have adventures, so it's fun.
Yes. Adventures are good.
Up here, it's just I don't know. New England's very Rhode Island, Massachusetts. It's just there's a lot going on all the time, and people can't always. They're not very friendly, and it's very cold and wet. And I don't
Mhm.
been here my whole life, but I don't I don't really care for it.
I like cattle. They taste delicious.
Yeah,
I agree. I just don't want them walking around in my yard and crapping everywhere.
no, I don't blame
It
you.
gets old.
Do you have a favorite type of steak, Chris Williams? Favorite cut?
My favorite cut of steak is steak. It's
Any
delicious.
kind, any type. All
Any
right.
kind. I'm
Yeah,
not picky.
I like
I'm
ribeye.
not picky.
Ribeye, bone and ribeye is my favorite. Those are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that stuff.
Um,
Medium rare. See, Brian and I, we speak the same language. That's the best. 18 ounce ribeye, medium rare. Yes, sir. Indeed. I love the name Hulk Hogan's tights. By the way, I think you asked before where we're from. We were on Ghost Hunters together. We've done Ghost Hunters International separately, but those are the programs that we're most well known for.
we were on there together once for Tullamore
Where
Castle?
we at?
Charleville
Dark. It
Castle
was
in
light. It
Tullamore.
was a castle. It was cold. Like
It
who the
was
hell?
exactly. We didn't
Yeah.
know which way was up. It was one of those
True.
deals.
Bison
Um,
steaks. We used to have one of those Uncle Ted's places around here. I remember having bison. That was pretty good. I like that. Now the show's about things to eat. It's great. It's
yeah.
ever evolving. Welcome to our ball of wax show. Anything might happen next? No idea.
No idea. Anything is right.
My man Thomas from Oklahoma checking in. What's up, Tom? I don't know any of the songs from Oklahoma offhand. Usually I have to Google the lyrics. Something about where the something comes down the plains, oh, Oklahoma, and then you do that with your hand. That's what they do. Not everybody, but people
Mm.
in the song. A ghost rider on the property, that'd be cool. I would love to see something like that. I have an image from a, a investigation in Ireland with horses and stuff. I've never witnessed it with my own eyes. I would love to see something like that. Bridgewater Triangle is pretty cool. The one of the cemeteries I go to is very close to that area. It's near the Anawan Rock, which is one of the cornerstone areas of the Bridgewater Triangle in Massachusetts. Not from here. Northern Michigan. Where the heck? Next weekend, I'm at come on, brain in the mitten. It's over there, Ann Arbor. I'm in Ann Arbor next weekend for Portographs fundraiser for animals and stuff. So that'll be fun. So if you're in the Ann Arbor area, check it out. DustinParry.com/events for all your Dustin Parry needs. But that's a nice one. We get to help out. I was distracted. I'm sorry. Lee Kirkland. Lee
Uh-oh, wait a minute.
Kirkland had to mention popcorn flavored chili dogs, which are the
Those are so
absolute worst.
nasty.
It's as if someone vomited up popcorn and then like
Blech.
freeze dried it. It was like, here you go. And Lee's like, can I have more? I don't understand that. I don't
No,
understand your ways, Lee Kirkland, but I love you.
no.
Um, I have I have an office where I do my writing and stuff, and it's all Disney Haunted Mansion things. I love the Haunted Mansion. I love the history of the ride, so I collect the memorabilia from it, pieces of history. I have a piece of the wallpaper from when they redid the one in Disneyland, and the other thing that I collect quite a bit of is skeleton keys. I have a bunch of skeleton keys. The first house I moved into when I was 7 years old, there was a skeleton key in the door of the bedroom that I had, and they just fascinated me, and I was just really into them. So anytime I'm in an antique store, I always stop to see if there's any skeleton keys, and I always try to pick some up. I want to eventually make a Kris Williams. You have to help me with this because you're artsy and crafty, and I'm not able to do such things. But what I like to do is make like a shadow box, and in my head, it's got like rough burlap in the back with tiny little nails holding up all the keys, and then like an
Oh,
old antique doorknob in the middle with like a lock.
oh, that would
That
be cool.
look really cool, I think. And so that's what I collect. Oh, and then also randomly Elvis 8 tracks, which I don't have a working 8 track player. I do have one in a box, but I don't have one set up. But I just love the look and feel of an 8 track. And Elvis has been a big part of my life since I was a kid. And I remember my mom and dad driving in their Lincoln Continental, white on white, white leather interior with a big 8 track player, and listening to Elvis. It was fantastic.
Did you catch the comment about the skeleton key?
No, I did not. I look around a lot when I talk. I'm sorry.
It
What was
says that they're saying that they have a skeleton key from Danvers State
Oh,
Hospital.
wow. That would be awesome.
That would be
Yeah,
awesome.
I don't have
Is that
anything
place
to
still
say to
standing? I thought it got knocked down.
thought it did too. I thought it did too. So, what do you collect, Miss Williams? Oh, no, art supplies, that's your thing.
Art
You
supplies
did the
and
whole video of that.
yeah, and Christmas ornaments. I collect Christmas ornaments wherever I go. It started when I first got on GH because at first I was grabbing keychains, and then after a while I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do with like a gazillion keychains?
I get a
Where am
bazillion
I gonna display them? Like I'm not gonna put them all on my keys.
right?
So then I started collecting Christmas ornaments, and it was fun because every time or Halloween, every time Christmas comes around, I get to kind of go through all the things and be like, oh yeah, that's right, I did go there. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a fun reminder of where I've been.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love
At
it.
least you remember what it is.
Yeah.
Quickly, Henry, yes, I love Harry Potter. Miss Williams, do you like Harry Potter?
Yeah.
No? Oh, well.
Mhm.
So either one of us is on your team and one of us isn't. I don't know how you stand with it. But
I'm not much of a sci-fi girl, and it's funny because people would always give me shit. They're like, "You're on the Sci-Fi Channel and
sci-fi
you're
though,
not
it's
into science
magic.
fiction." I'm like,
It's
"Not
magic.
really."
To me, it's not sci-fi. It's magic. There's no robots. For sci-fi, you need robots and
So fantasy,
ships.
not into that either. Then no sci-fi or fantasy. Although
Oh,
I
we're not
made an
interested
exception for
in
Game of
fantasy. That's not my
Thrones.
fault. What's
I
that?
was a Game of Thrones nut.
Oh yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed that. Although I didn't discover Game of Thrones until COVID had the world on lockdown.
No,
So I'm laying there.
it took you that long.
Yeah, I did. I don't watch a lot of TV because I'm always busy. Like I pretty much have wrestling on in the background while I'm working on like books or lectures or whatever. But so now I can't go to the gym. I can't go to work. So I'm just at home doing virtual lectures and staying up all night watching Game of Thrones.
So good.
And I remember one night I was laying there. I started to live like the Game of Thrones lifestyle with the drinking. I was like drinking red wine out of a bottle and gnawing the ears off an Easter chocolate rabbit. And I'm like, what choices have I made at this point in my life that it's like 4 a.m. and I'm laying here just drinking out of the bottle and eating Easter candy, and I'm like completely okay with it. Like I really needed to get back to my normal life. It was getting kind of scary. It's good times.
This show is so good. I hated the last season though. I feel like they completely
Yeah, no,
routed
it was
it.
awful. I was
Just
a Jon Snow fan, and I was just like, I felt like the whole it was
yeah,
dumb. You know, I use the
yeah.
phrase "back to the wall" a lot because that's how I often feel. Just back to the wall. Just go back to this. Somebody asked a paranormal question. I did want to mention.
Oh, where's that?
That was they had asked, do we think? And I don't know your answer to this, but it'd be fun to just chat about quickly before we wrap up for the night. But um, do we think it's possible to cross spirits over, like they mentioned in some other shows? And for me, I don't think we need to, and I don't think we know how to. I'm still here, so I've never crossed, as far as I know, unless I've been reincarnated, in which I don't remember. But which is also possible. I think there's room for the ideas of reincarnation. You'll find that I always think there's room to be respectful for every religion and idea there is. But for me personally, I don't think it's upon me to ever cross anybody over anywhere. I also don't think. I personally don't believe spirits are ever trapped, like a lot of people do too, and that's okay if other people do. You can believe whatever the hell you want. But for me, I don't believe anyone's ever trapped. I don't think a loving God or goddess would be like, nope, you can't move on yet. You have to stay here. So I don't believe that, waving sage or getting crystals and putting them in the sunlight, although I love all those things in their own right.
Mhm.
I don't believe that that's going to help me, say go toward the light and then like Nana's saved all of a sudden. I just think it's a personal journey. I think that items and things are touch points for spirits and loved ones to come back and forth. I think that when we're going through a tough time in our life, we may see a flicker of them or something and let us know that things are okay, that they're still there, that they think about us, that we're going to be okay. And various cultures mention that within the 10 to 14 days after somebody passes away, you may quite often see them around the house, sitting in their favorite chair or sitting around in the kitchen, wherever they might be. And it seems to just be like a transitional period for them and also for us. So that's kind of the way I've always looked at it. I have no interest in trying to move spirits along. It's not my job. And if anybody wants to get help, I think they are probably further along in their advanced and understanding of it than I am. And that's all I
I'm
have to say about that.
I'm going to answer that, but I also saw two things pop up that I have to respond to. One, somebody asked, Pam, I believe, asked if we were Dexter fans. I was a massive Dexter fan. And then somebody else mentioned that I was a Vikings fan, which you were too. And I want to know,
Yes.
Dustin,
Are you going to pee again? Like in the where are you going? Well, that's fun. If I go this way too, I disappear.
do you have one too?
Yes, I do.
Yes, we
I have
should battle.
The Ragnar Lothbrok
I
axe.
will kick your ass.
Yes,
Yes,
I've got
this is
that.
so awesome. So
Oh,
Dustin and I used to talk about this damn show all the time, all the time. So then they started sending us stuff. So this is one of the props from their show. And
yeah.
then Dexter, they did the same thing. They sent me a copy of the final script of the first episode of the last season. They splattered all this red paint on it and put like fingerprints and stuff in it. Oh my god, I was in heaven. And they sent a bunch of like other crap, but I was so psyched. So I'm sorry, I got a little
That's okay. I
derailed
never
there.
watched. I never get to watch Dexter, so I'm not familiar with it. But I love Vikings. But
Dustin,
I'm
watch Dexter.
busy. I've got.
Dark humor, you'll freaking love it. It's like
I
totally
do
up
like
our
it.
alley.
I'm busy. All right, tell us
It's
about crossing
fantastic.
over, Kris Williams. Crossing over with
Okay,
Kris Williams.
here's my problem with the paranormal, and this is part of this kind of gonna get rolled into why I got out for a while. Um, the field took this really weird turn where it was like everybody's skeptical and everybody asks questions and people do their research and we debunk and pull things apart and think rationally, critical thinking, all that fun stuff. It went from that to everything's real. There's no question. Like, don't question it. If you question it, you're a hater. We know exactly how this works. Belief turned into fact.
Hmm.
And that has been my biggest like frustration with the field because it got to this place where I felt like it got way bigger than us and it went way beyond our control of trying to reel everybody back in because it's just we do not have all the answers. Like, how the hell are we supposed to move something to another place if we don't even understand how any of this works and we're still
Right.
trying to figure it out?
Yeah.
Like, there's absolutely no way anybody could guarantee that with a straight face, as far as I'm concerned, because we're still learning.
Yeah.
I've had really weird freaking experiences that I will swear to, but I get frustrated because when people start talking in indefinites, personally, it turns me off. Like,
Yeah.
my
For sure.
bullshit radar goes up, and then I'm just kind of like, well, maybe I didn't experience those things, or maybe it didn't happen the way I thought it happened, or it's really frustrating. So, no, I don't think I could move anything to some next plane if I don't understand what's happening right now, or why it's happening, or if it even is something.
Right.
Because a
For
lot
sure.
of times, like in history, we've thought something was a certain way, and then you get a few centuries down the track and we figure it out. So is this going to be another thing where what's weird to us now is perfectly natural and normal and rational that we'll be
Yeah.
able to explain later? But I'm just, there's so much room for BS in our field because we cannot prove anything without a doubt.
Right. So
And
it's always
that's where
best.
I get really frustrated.
Yeah, it's always best just not to try to speak in indefinites of anything. Just leave room for people to believe how they want to believe, as long as they're being respectful and kind and loving. Like there's really no harm in that. But saying here's a portal, there's a portal, you've got a demon in your basement, and grandma's
Yeah.
trapped there. That kind of stuff is negative in its thinking, and that's not stuff that I personally would just support. It's not my kind of thing. But
Yeah.
I did see somebody did ask if we who we keep in touch with the most. I think we have a. I mean, I went out with Steve just recently. We both talked to Jay and Shari. Like there's like a text messages almost daily.
Yeah.
Um, Tango's the toughest one because he's not close by. He's far away,
Yeah. But if you
and
text him, he's quick to respond.
he's
And
quicker to text than Steve is. I love Steve, but Steve asked me one day. We're sitting in the back of the van. And he goes, "Dustin, how is it that you text people back so quickly?" I was like, "Well, when I see the text, I just respond to the text, and then I'm done." Like he like hoards them and like never gets back to anybody.
yes. And I used to think like I'm like, is he mad at me or something? Because I'd text him and then I would hear a response like 3 months down the track, and I'm like, I don't even know what he's responding to now. So I'd have to like
Right.
scroll back. But then I heard that he does it to everybody. So I was like, all right, it's just he's bad with phones.
Yeah, it's just bad.
Um,
He's
but he's
bad
on
with
it all the time too.
all the
How does that
time.
work?
Do you remember he had that sidekick? The thing was like glued to him. It was literally his sidekick. It was always insane. It was insane. I loved it. Oh man.
Um, I also talked to Grant. I don't know how often you talk to him or not, but
Not as often as I used to, but again, it's nothing personal, just time in life, But it'll be
yeah,
random. Like I'll see something about Willy Wonka or something that we used to joke about, and I'll text him, and he'll do the same back to me.
yeah.
Usually, it's like old candy related or movie related.
Yes. And then I was all excited because we're supposed to do an event with him, and now
Yeah,
I don't know
can't
what's
wait.
going on with that.
I get canceled, yeah. But
Yeah.
somebody asked about Barry. I'm going to see Barry next week in Ann Arbor. He's coming over to do the Portographs event. KJ is like, oh my god, I can't remember. Yeah, I know he's a black belt in jujitsu. I don't know if he's advanced his degree beyond that, but he's really committed himself to martial arts and breathing techniques and doing a lot of spiritual work on himself. And he also makes amazing woodcraft, cutting boards and things like that.
Oh, he does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's really cool. Joe Chin, I
Yeah.
see bouncing. I mean, it's Rhode Island, so you see people all the time. So I see Joe Chin. He still does events and things around here too. But
Yeah.
excellent. Well, I suppose we should be signing off for this initial viewing of
Initial
whatever this
kickoff
was.
that
Yeah.
started with a little craziness. I apologize.
No, it's okay. It's good. And yeah, maybe we will get moderators. Trolls and things don't bother me. I really don't care, but I want people in the chat to be able to have a good time and not have to deal with somebody like that. So maybe we'll look into that in the
Yeah.
future. But in the meantime, don't let the haters bother you, people. Like, who cares? People just want attention, and if you give it to
Oh,
them, sometimes they go away, sometimes it makes them worse. So just choose
it's true.
wisely.
This is true. Somebody
That's
just
it.
said they think they saw an orb in my room, but really I'm working in my art space and there's shit flying around. So there's just
Yeah,
that. It's nothing.
these things
It's
happen.
nothing. Yes.
Well, we wish you all a very pleasant evening, and we will be posting some new content soon, and then we'll let you
Yes.
know the live Rebellious will be for the month of March.
Yes. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we'll be bugging you again soon.
All right, have a good night, guys. Take care.